everyone. My article for this week is called Coming Soon to the Web, the Whatever dot address, or the dot whatever address. And this article is pretty much about how the agency that assigns and creates internet addresses is loosening its rules and allowing suffixes and things like that to be named after hobbies, political things, brands, things like that, just about anything else. Anybody can apply for it, and what this pretty much means is now with the internet, obviously, the most common suffixes are .com, .net, .org, but now companies can pay this company to have their own suffix at the end of their website address. So it could be like a bank, it could be like wellsfargo.bank instead of wellsfargo.com, or an environmental group, they could have it be like environmental.eco instead of environmental.com. So it's just letting the companies and things like that, this company is starting to let other companies personalize their web addresses, make it kind of more specific to what they're all about and what their political view is, or what their company's about, or anything like that. The article talked about how it costs about $185,000 just to initially apply for it. Apply to the company to get your website up and started, or your suffix up and started on your website, and then it costs about $25,000 a year to keep it going. And in 1998, the United States pretty much was the only country that really paid for the usage of internet. But now this company called ICANN is getting together, and it has a bunch of people that it involves a bunch of people that are throughout the whole world, and they are all getting together to help pay for this, to help fund this, and get it up and running so that it's not all going to be on the U.S. to pay for a majority of the internet costs anymore. And it used to cost about $10 a year to keep up an address suffix, but now with this new change, if you want to personalize it, it's going to cost $25,000 a year. So that's a brief outline of my article. The three connections I made from my text to the article was the word jargon, and that is on page 92. And I thought that the word jargon was appropriate when I was reading this article because the definition of jargon is a technical language of any specialized group, and I think that while I was reading this article, it was really kind of hard sometimes to understand the jargon, the networking jargon of the computer world. So jargon came to mind. Another thing that came to mind when I was reading this was networking, and that's on page 238. And I just felt like it was appropriate because this article is all about networking and specializing and making specifications to specific networks so that they can have their web addresses be more specified to what they're about. And it's all just about making networking more specified and more upgraded. And then process, I thought was another one, and I thought that that was appropriate just because in the article it did say that this whole thing is going to be a process. It's going to take a long time, it's going to take a lot of money, and it's going to take a lot of effort and manpower to get it up and running. And the definition of process is ongoing activity, and its communication is referred to as a process to emphasize that it's always changing and it's always in motion. So I thought that that was an appropriate connection because the internet is always changing. It's a networking site that's always changing, always improving, always making adaptations. So I thought that those three connections to the textbook were relevant to the article. Two things that I learned from the article or I found interesting were I thought that it was pretty interesting that they are letting people do this now. The only thing that I thought was a little different was that it's going to cost $185,000 for them just to apply, and then $25,000 for them just to keep it maintained every year. whereas if you just want to use .com or .net, it was only like $10 a year. And I guess it all depends on what your company can afford, but I personally would just stay with .com. And another thing too is, I guess, why is it so expensive to have this be, instead of using .com and you want to personalize it to say, like, let's say .bank, why is it so much more expensive, to thousands and thousands of dollars more expensive to change that? That was one thing. And I guess I learned that from this, that reading computer articles is kind of difficult because there is a lot of networking jargon and computer jargon that I'm not really familiar with, but I learn a lot every week when I do these, and yeah, that's my article for this week. Thank you.